Jingle bells, jingle all the way. Oh, what fun it is to ride in a one-horse open sleigh. Jingle bells, jingle all the way. Oh, what fun it is to ride in a one-horse.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to 12 Days of Christmas Movies. I'm Alby. I guess I host this podcast where we're going to be watching some real classic Christmas. Joining us, Zach. Hi, Zach.
I, for one, am just happy we're putting the Christ back in Christmas, Alby. Hello.
Hello. I am also happy about Christ. Joining us also, Shawn. Hi, Shawn.
I'm not happy about Christ.
Really? Okay.
No.
But how do you feel about Alice?
What?
In Wonderland, or like...
In Wonderland, yes. Okay. And how do you feel about Christmas Wonderlands?
I don't know if this is like a Bible reference.
It's not in... No, it's not in the Old Testament or the new one that I found, but I like Wonderlands. I also like Christmas. Is there something that maybe combines the two? Maybe a movie of a sort that...
Yes. Christmas Wonderland.
Wow.
From the Book of Hallmark, Chapter 1.
All right. That's my favorite Bible chapter. Christmas Wonderland. So yeah, this is boy, Christmas Wonderland. So we watched a Hallmark movie here. It's day 1 of 12 of doing this because we all thought this was a good idea for whatever reason, and we watched this movie called Christmas Wonderland. And boy,
very original title, you know.
Yeah, and
it wasn't taken yet.
It's an original title for an original Hallmark movie that doesn't. Boy, there's not like a ton to say, but. It's a Hallmark movie, and you know what that means if you watched any Lifetime or Hallmark movie ever.
So to give you a brief summary.
No. Okay.
Yeah. Okay.
Nope.
What? You don't want to summarize it?
Nope. My turn.
Let Shawn talk.
That's so weird. So why? So behind the scene, I'm usually going to pick the movies, and the order of when we watch them. And I picked this movie because 1, Hallmark. 2, when I read the summary, it sounded like a Hallmark movie. It turns out it was. And 3, this premiered on December 1st, so I thought it was fitting to watch it first. I don't know.
Okay, sure.
It's a good thought process. I agree.
I don't know. Yeah, I thought, yes, go ahead with the summary, you soon realize this sounds like a Hallmark movie.
All right. So Heidi, played by everybody's favorite actress, Emily Osment.
Nope.
Osment.
You're close. Yeah, that's fine. That works.
Osment.
Yeah, Osment. Haley Joel Osment's sister, if you know who Haley Joel Osment is.
You may know her from such classic films like Spy Kids 3 and Hannah Montana.
She's doing really well in her career right now, from what I've been able to deduce.
No.
Just blockbuster after blockbuster for Miss Osment, and I don't mean that in like a disrespectful way. It sounds like it. It probably is.
She's best known for being in Hannah Montana.
Yes.
Yes.
So Heidi, played by Mrs. Osment, who originally left her small town of Pleasant Valley with the dream of one day becoming successful, has put her own art on hold to excel as an art gallery curator. Now, a week before the gallery's big Christmas party, she must return to her home to watch her niece and nephew. She comes face to face with her high school love, Chris, now a teacher, who is in over his head after he must find a new last-minute location for the Christmas dance. Heidi offers to help him, and together they discover a beautiful place for the dance, perfectly capturing the Christmas spirit called Wonderland Farm. The more time Heidi spends in Pleasant Valley decorating for Christmas Snowball, the more she finds herself inspired to start painting again. With Christmas fast approaching, Heidi soon becomes torn between the life she built in the city and the life she is surprisingly charmed by back in Pleasant Valley, embracing her true passion.
Yeah, it's okay. So Alby, you watch Hallmark movies? Is that okay to say?
Yes,
can I divulge that information? Like, that's not top secret or anything?
It has happened. Yes, I have.
Okay,
Found myself watching Hallmark.
As far as Hallmark movies go, can you just give me some quick opinions on how you felt about this versus any other Hallmark movie you watched? Is this like in the ballpark? Because this is the first like real, I think, Hallmark movie I've sat down and watched start to finish, and boy,
Listen, there is a scale of Hallmark movies, from good to kind of bad. This was like in the middle. This is kind of a middling one. It's not very special. Sometimes you can boil Hallmark movies down to two very attractive people getting together on TV, which is fine, but sometimes they have plots, and this one doesn't, so it's not one of the good ones.
What?
Okay, sorry. What is a good Hallmark Christmas movie?
Thank you, because that was going to be my question.
A good Hallmark Christmas movie rises above all the other ones by having, interesting characters and a story that is bigger than just the romance aspect of it,
No.
Okay. And it's like, I don't know, what makes a good movie a good movie? Like a Hallmark, like there are some good Hallmark movies.
Okay.
That are not.
I'm not going to argue with you about that because I'm sure there are. I'm not like going to blanket statement say that they're all bad, but okay. Maybe. So this movie, Christmas Wonderland, Emily Osment plays the main protagonist here, and it hits every trope that you could possibly like. She's in New York City working a job she hates. She goes back to her hometown. She realizes that she hates the big city lifestyle, and then at the end, like you do in every fucking Hallmark movie, ties it up nicely with a little bow tie. Christmas, your present is neatly wrapped, and suddenly you're back together with your high school love that you were like, I'm sorry about the thing that happened. And then fucking they kiss and make out, and they probably get married, I would imagine. Didn't really leave us with like the resolution that I was hoping it did, but you can like kind of assume that's what happens, right? Like that's what's gonna happen.
Sure, you kind of know from the jump what the plot of this is. It's not trying to trick you.
So like, why would any? I don't want to be dismissive, and I'm going to be dismissive anyway. Why would anybody watch these just like is it just because like it's a comfort food sort of thing? Like how it's the point of like movies is to kind of keep you guessing throughout the movie. Like a good movie will have some exposition and go like, oh, we're going to take you here, but first we're going to take you down this path and then this path. And like a Hallmark movie is just a straight shot. Like what's happening the entire time. Like there's no guessing. It's like, oh, right, you're gonna meet your high school love because you just your dishwasher's broken. Your high school love is gonna stop by at 9:00. That's not weird at all. He's gonna fix it for you. He's gonna come in. It's gonna be fine. You're gonna realize, oh, you actually love each other. What? That doesn't make sense. I'm sorry. I'm just very astounded by Hallmark movies.
I mean, I think the important part about Hallmark movies is not necessarily that they're like some kind of amazing thing. I think it's just, telling a fun, interesting story with some characters. Like, I think it's not meant to be put on the same scale as a full-fledged movie. It's more of just an enjoyable time, Like, it's not trying to do everything. It's just trying to do one thing really well.
Well, what's the one thing you did very well?
Yeah, can you explain what the one thing is that you think it did well?
This movie?
Yeah.
Or all Christmas movies? Or like
just
what are
this one that we've watched that we're making the episode about?
Well, no. There was nothing this one did particularly well.
Okay.
And a lot of Christmas billion. That was pretty cool.
It's pretty good. Yeah, there's a lot of like Christmas trees and
I think there was about 800 Christmas trees in this movie.
You can really tell what kind of season it is. They're definitely in the just like no regard for any other holiday except Christmas. Like Kwanzaa, get out of here. Hanukkah doesn't exist. Just Christmas.
Oh.
I mean, let's be honest. A whole forest fell for this one movie. Like, let's just be honest.
Yeah, it probably did. And I just like, I don't know. I want to go into this going like, yeah, I know what I'm getting myself into. But I also want to enjoy it. And it wasn't like the worst thing in the world. It's just like, it's cookie cutter. It's just a real.
Okay. I'm not sure if I ever watched a Hallmark Christmas movie, but obviously I had expectations. And man, did this movie hit all the expectations. Like, more closely than I was even expecting. Like, Mr. Zach, can you run down the list of the Hallmark movie tropes that this movie hit?
Well, I mean, essentially, it's just like I said at the beginning, it's a woman in a dead-end job. She's independent. She knows how to do her job very well. She's living in a very busy city. New York City is where she was living at the time. Obviously, she doesn't like it. You could tell by the time she gets back to Pleasant Valley, which is where she lives, and then she starts becoming much happier with I guess the kids of her sister or whatever. She's taking care of them. She gets a little happier over time because she's like, oh, I'm in a smaller city and I'm with these people that I love. I'm with my family. It's great. Then you bump into like your old flame that you had in high school at this rundown fucking terrible ass school that has a gymnasium that isn't in use because it's always fucking broken. And then there's like a lot of tension there because you're like, oh, we used to like each other, now we don't, and now we do again, but I kind of like you, and it's passive aggressive, and like all this bullshit. So then you have that going on, and then like you just kind of continue on that where, like I said, the guy shows up at her house at like 9 o'clock, and he's just like, oh, I heard that you need your dishwasher fixed, and you're like, that's. In what reality does that happen where you don't go to jail, like for going to somebody's house at 9 o'clock, and you don't even let them know, like. It's just a bunch of, like, Hallmark is really removed from reality. And I'm anxious to see if other Christmas movies of this caliber, like a B-movie Christmas movie of, like, a Netflix or, like, a Lifetime or, like, any other bad Christmas movie is this far removed from reality just to make people feel good watching it. Like, it hits all of the tropes. Like, it's everything. And then at the end, it gets all wrapped up, and you're like, oh, yay, everything's great. They got married, whatever. Like, it hits everything.
The one thing that surprised me the most is just how obviously it targeted it. Like how obviously they target a specific audience. When the movie is filled with a bunch of rich white people. Yeah. Is it too early to get into conspiracy theory of how there's no minorities whatsoever in this movie other than one person?
Yes, I kept count. There were 3 and like. There were 2 and then 2 in a painting, so 4 in the hour and 20 minutes that we watched.
So like, Hallmark obviously knows the audience, so it is very striking.
Their audience is my grandmother, my 85-year-old grandmother, who watches Fox News too. So like, you know the audience.
I mean, you know the audience, but I think you guys don't give it enough credit as like it's just. Like it's not meant in some way to be
it's
super
fluff.
Dramatic.
It's like
it's fluff. Food. It's when you sit down, you've had a hell of a day, you know, there's been 20 shootings in the country, and you just want to watch something that's not so freaking terrible. Or you have a family. There's not a lot of shows where a family can sit down and watch a movie together, you know? And I think I think you should value that. And also, anecdotally, from some people I know who I've talked to over the years, people that work on the Hallmark movies have a really good time making them. They're
I'm sure.
Like, very fun. And they you know, from what I've heard, Hallmark takes care of their people they work for. So, like, yes, they're not a creative success or some big thing, but you know, I think what this movie does and what kind of all of them does is provide a solid enough movie you can put on and play with your phone for 15 minutes. That's the kind of show you're getting.
I mean, I understand that, and again, single guy here, like no family, anything like that I'm watching this with. I could totally see this coming home at, like, if you're like 35 years old, 40 years old, significant other, you got like a kid or two, whatever, and it's Christmas time, you got the tree up, you got a fireplace, if you're, you know, doing pretty well in life, I guess, if you got a house with a fireplace, that's my barometer for success, and you just come home and you're just like, oh, these Hallmark movies, we haven't canceled our cable yet, so let's just turn on Hallmark for the next 2 hours, and Tommy and, you know, Tammy can just sit there. I don't know why I would name my kid Tammy, that's a bad name. But you could just sit there and just, like, chew on it, and you guys can have, like, cookies and just sort of, like, talk about your day while this plays in the background, I guess. I don't know. Like, maybe I could see it from that point of view.
You know, and it's rare that a Hallmark movie rises above that. They all kind of end up in that, like, 5 to 6 out of 10 range, right? Solid enough to watch, not amazing, not going to blow your socks off, but they all kind of end up in that space, but a few of them do sort of start rising a little above it, and those are the special ones, and I think that's become the reason some people watch Hallmark movies is to dig through that and then to find the ones that are really good each year. So this one, that's a 5 or a 6, let's be honest. But also if you like laughing at background things in these movies, a lot of weird stuff you can pull apart and you know, have fun with that.
Can I just mention real quick the naming conventions of the 2 places? The 2 places that were frequented the most were just the names of people, like Frank's as a bar, like just like this diner that people go to. Doesn't explain whoever that is, and then Erica's, which is just like a crafts shop that is like apparently this super big Costco-esque mall that you can just walk around in, because these people were walking around in there for like 3 or 4 hours apparently. And
apparently they had a good find, which is like, how big of a store is this if there's a find? Like there's 3 rows. Like I don't understand how big of a store this is. I just don't understand.
The green screen effects too need to also be noted, of just like, holy shit.
It's so good.
What are you doing? Like, you're on the frozen tundra of Alaska, and we're in Pleasant Valley. Like, just shooting. Like, if you look out the back of the car or the windows when they were in that scene, you're like, okay, so we're just in a big snowy place where there are no buildings or no humanity at all.
Yes. That's the secret to all the Hallmark movies. They take place in like a post-apocalyptic hellscape. That's what's really going on.
That's what it seems like. I don't know, man. It's just, I'm really anxious to see what other movies, like, I don't want to say they're bad because they obviously serve a purpose and there are people that watch them, but like these movies that I would otherwise not watch or even think about, like I'm actually kind of interested in seeing how they're done differently.
They're nice. They're nice and warm things. Sit back. We should make some cocoa each night.
Sure.
And make some Christmas movie. That's what I think.
That sounds like fun.
Yeah. Oh, no. It's hard for me to get into this movie because this doesn't feel genuine whatsoever. Like this does not feel like any family whatsoever. This whole
it's not. So weird. It's a perfect family.
It is, but
it's
too
perfect people.
It's a dystopia, obviously.
Yeah,
all horror movies take place dystopia.
It's so far out of anything realistic that it's just like, wow, okay, so this boy really loves hockey a lot, and you're just like, okay.
Yeah.
There's no real challenges. Everything, they just push through it. It's just, there might be a rough moment, but then after a little bit, everything solves itself. That's sort of special, I think.
It's got a 6.3 out of 10 on IMDb, so like it's on the higher scale of like better than other movies, apparently.
There are worse big budget movies made, to be honest with you. There are worse, aren't there? Look at the Transformers movies. Aren't they worse than this? Wouldn't you rather watch this again than watch the Transformers? Be honest.
No.
I don't know if I'd go that
far. The thing is, I will be entertained by the Transformers movie. This is just boring as shit, honestly.
It's so milk toast and inoffensive in like every way. It's just hard to.
Oh, the little boy, his troubles is he's not great at school. Turns out he studied and he got fucking A's. He likes his girl, but he thinks the girl likes somebody else. Turns out the girl likes him too, so they go to the dance together. The little girl, is afraid of her stage she has to do. And she practices. Turns out she's very good at singing the 20-second songs she has to sing.
Yeah, it was the radio edit. It was just like condensed down. Also, the guy that Emily Osment ends up like kissing and like probably marrying works at this school. He's like 27 and like just allowed to roam the premises and leave whenever he wants. And like, hey, we'll go get coffee later. That's cool. Like, you're allowed to just do that if you work at a school. I don't think that's how that works. And then also, she was roaming around the school. Like, I'm pretty sure you have to like sign in and be like, hey, by the way, I'm here to pick somebody up, and not just, I want to go in this art room and talk to this small kid who's just like, hey, lady, what are you doing in here? Oh, that's cool. Bye. And he like, what?
The worst acting kid in this movie was that little kid, and that I just don't. I don't know how that was the take. I don't know how that was the take they used.
I don't either.
Rough.
Speaking of Stranger Danger, what about the old guy at the barn?
That guy's creepy, man.
They show up there out of nowhere looking for a place for this dance. They talk to this old man and go like, hey, we're just going to rent this place from you. Don't say no. We're just going to rent this place from you. We want to rent this place.
Please. We had our first date somewhere around here, but can we rent this shed from you? Yeah, it was like, I don't know, 10 years ago, but whatever, man. Just give us the shed.
Just give us the shed, dude.
Care.
We don't know you.
I don't care that you got numerous bodies buried underneath of it. It's fine.
We came here by accident when we ran out of gas.
Yeah.
That's what people do. Run out of gas in the car.
Just like dumb shit. Like, oh, I can't. It's an old truck, so he's like, I'm gonna tap this thing. Oh, the fuel. Oh, it's finicky.
Of course, it's an old truck. This is a Hallmark movie. They're all old trucks.
Hallmark,
it's 1950s, but it's actually 2018. You mix the two together in like some kind of beautiful slurry, and you end up with a Hallmark movie.
That's the beautiful slurry. Put it on their slogan. Hallmark. It's a beautiful slurry.
And the best part is the movie just ramps up the plot at the very last second. Like the last 5 minutes, it's like she decides right away, oh wait, I don't want this job anymore. I'm out.
Hey, I'm quitting this job.
She has been working the entire movie though. Like, there was never a scene where she did anything. That other girl that was doing everything.
Julia is the one that's a stone cold bitch the entire time, just calling her, going like, hey, you need to be back. And like, I understand from her perspective that like, hey man, like you just sort of left. You like pieced out, and you're just like not doing anything. You're really not checking in. Like, hey, what's going on? Are you good? And then she's at the end, she finally is just like, hey, by the way, I know I came back, but like, I don't want to work here anymore. Like, peace. Bye.
I'm gone.
I want to get
Not
on
even
this airplane to get on this fucking go to this fucking dance.
Yeah.
hang out with this dude.
I don't know how like New York City to where they were is probably not that long of a trip, I would imagine, but to do it all in the same day of just like, I'm gonna go back, I'm gonna go quit my job, tell her to suck it, and then I'm gonna come back later on tonight, and just we're gonna make out and have a love sesh here, right here, just dancing.
What you mean the small town of Pleasantville, Pleasant Valley?
Yeah. Just like, yeah, I don't know, man. It's not like the worst. Again, it's not the worst movie I've ever seen, but it's just so boring and just like vanilla that you're just like, okay, yeah. There's really nothing in it that makes you want to keep watching it, other than we plan to do this. So I was just like, yeah, sure, whatever. I don't. So yeah, here we are.
Don't worry, I'll make you watch a good Hallmark movie before the end. You'll see one that's gonna amaze you. You'll find one that's the real good one.
I'm sure there are a couple good ones. I'm sure they're out there. I know Shawn like put some stuff together, so I'm actually anxious to see where we go from here, because we did see at the end of this where the credits were rolling that there was another movie after this where we're like, okay, yeah, this seems stupid too, so we might as well watch this.
I really think next year we should watch all the Hallmark movies they release.
No.
All of them. All the Christmas movies.
Absolutely not. I can't handle it. This is the first one. The first one we're doing, and even all of us were like, oh boy, I don't know.
And the fun thing is, they announced Hallmark announced a new movie adding to this season, like today.
Yeah.
So they have a total of 38 Christmas movies this year.
38 movies like this. 38 of these.
Can you imagine how good of a job that must be? Like, that's all you do is make Hallmark Christmas movies? Like, I bet that's an amazing career. Like, I bet they have so much fun together. Like,
but you also probably aren't that good in your acting career if you're just going like, yeah, I'm going to take this Hallmark movie. Why not? 38. And then next year we get a Hanukkah movie, like 2 Hanukkah movies. So we'll get to see how well they do with that. I don't trust Hallmark to treat that with the reverence it probably deserves, but hey, I'm not the one in charge.
I mean, it's the Festival of Lights. They're going to do great. I think, it'll end up being a 6 out of 10. Don't worry.
Probably. Mazel tov. Hallmark, mazel tov.
If there's anything about Hallmark you need to know, is they are about as inoffensive as you possibly can. They will put nothing in there that will upset anyone ever.
Yeah. Also, I saw that Shawn posted something here about that kid being in the Assassin's Creed Black Flag short film. What?
He was Thanks in the credits.
What does that even mean?
Who knows?
Also, that kid, Colony, great show. Suits, okay. The kid has a permanent face that he looks like he's
smug.
just
smug. Yeah.
Smuggest. He's the smuggest kid in the world.
Yeah.
Well,
okay. Yeah.
So, I'm pull up Discord. I am blown away as counted. So 38 Hallmark movies. Guess how many Christmas movies Lifetime had? Guess how many they have this year?
42.
24.
Okay.
ABC has 3 themselves.
Okay.
And fucking Netflix has like what, 8 also? Fucking how many Christmas movies? There's like 100 Christmas movies a year apparently. Like,
people love Christmas.
Yeah.
And the older I've met more people who are super obsessed with Christmas in a way that they will spend most of December getting into it in a way that is like weird. So weird.
So it's a fun thing where we're going to do our 12 movies, and then after that, every week we're going to watch another one. So we can do this a whole year round, where every week we can watch another Christmas movie. Because there's a million Christmas movies. So
we would never get through it. We all know we would never get through that amount of Christmas.
Hey, Zach, can you come back, please? What's wrong? Don't you want to watch Christmas movies year round?
Oh, God, he's gone.
No.
Oh, well.
Actually, it wouldn't. If we're doing it from like a comedic standpoint, yeah, watching one Christmas movie every week would probably be pretty funny. Just to be like, hey, remember like.
We could really get a pretty good dialogue going on the amount of movies we watch. We would be pretty much the experts of Christmas movies.
This week we're watching a gingerbread romance.
Okay, is it just a romance of gingerbread?
It hasn't premiered yet, so.
I'm actually kind of interested in. Okay.
With Christmas just weeks away, the architecture firm Tyler works for enters a contest.
Do you guys have any other things you want to say about Christmas Wonderland before we before we wrap this up? And then
I just wonder what happened to her apartment in New York City, and I'm really wondering how that relationship with that kid and that other girl went. Also, what took so long for them to get back from Atlanta? Why did it take like 7 days to get back?
Yeah, so you can get from Pleasantville to New York City in like an hour.
Yeah, but apparently it takes you roughly 4 days to get from anywhere.
Did the airplane ever fix the computer system? What happened there? How did the computer system go down?
Listen, they don't know. Somebody hit a button. It was like that thing that happened in Hawaii where the guy hit the wrong button and it like caused a state of panic for everybody.
That's all I want to know. All right, so we're watching a gingerbread romance next?
I don't know what we're watching.
No, that's an actually.
Shawn, do you want to tease what maybe you have on the docket for tomorrow?
What's the next one?
We could.
If you have it. If you don't, it's fine. We can just...
I mean, I do. Like, do you guys like... Okay, teaser. The movie will be Homegrown Christmas.
Oh,
is this about a meth lab, or like what are we...
Marijuana. You're going to grow some?
I linked the movie so you can... Alby, can you do the honor of reading this summary?
Certainly. Homegrown Christmas.
This also has 6.3 out of 10. What?
After stepping down as the CEO of her dream job, Maddie, played by Lauren Logan, heads home for the holidays to gain perspective. She finds herself running into her old high school sweetheart, Carter, played by Victor Webster, and tensions quickly arise. When forced to put together a Christmas dance for the local high school, Carter and Maddie find themselves putting their differences aside and rediscover what made them fall in love all those years ago.
This sounds great. Can't wait.
Sounds like a good movie.
It sounds like the exact same movie we just watched. All right.
Wow, it's almost like they're all the same thing. Thank you for listening. I don't know why we decided to do this, but we'll be back.